Hiya folks, as promised in my last video, this is the new generator I've got. I've had this for a couple of months now, but the weather's turned really cold and I think it's about time to dig this one out. It's from Maxspeedingrods. It's the MXR3500 petrol generator. So let's see what's inside the box and let's check it out. Well, you'll have to forgive me in here folks, it's a little bit cold. It's actually below zero in here at the moment. The noise you can hear in the background is my diesel heater. These are all things that we've had to take advantage of. So because of the energy crisis and also the cold weather here in the UK, there's a very good chance we might get some power outages. Now I've got two old generators, let's show you them. Now they're over the back there, as you can see. There's one, a little two-stroke one there, and I've got that Honda suitcase generator, which is only rated at about 750 watts. And that really hadn't been started for many years. In fact, I think it's about 30 years old, that generator. And so this one here is the MXR3500. And I think it's got a peak wattage of 3,300 watts and a running wattage of 3 kilowatts, 3,000 watts. So let's have a look at the specifications on the side. So yeah, it's the model MXR3500. The peak watts, as I say, are 3,300 watts. And the rated watts, which you continually run at, is 3,000 watts, which is quite a lot. It's a 230 volt system, rated at 50 hertz. It's 145cc petrol engine. The fuel tank capacity is 4 litres, and the oil tank for the engine oil is 0.45 litres. This doesn't come with oil in it because it's obviously shipped without the oil in it. So once you unpackage it, you've actually got to put the oil in. So anyway, let's get it out of the box, get it on the worktop, and let's see what it looks like. Right, so I've unpacked the unit now. I found the easiest way to do it was to cut the box away, because lifting it out, especially on a worktop, is quite a heavy unit. So cut the box away and then you can actually pull it out of the way. So let's have a little closer look at it. So first of all, this is what it actually comes with. You get a user manual, you get a fill spout there for the engine oil to fill the engine oil up. You get some adaptation leads there, a cigarette end, cigarette lighter, or a 12 volt supply with some crocodile clips. There's also a spare 13 amp plug in there. You also get a spark plug spanner and a screwdriver as well. There's some other leads there for the 12 volt output, and you also get a carrying bag there, a nylon carrying bag as well, as you can see there. So coming round to the unit, you do get a quick start set of instructions as well there. And one thing to realise is, as I said to you, that this doesn't come supplied with any oil. I thought there would have been a bottle of oil in there, but obviously there isn't, so you have to buy your own oil. You're looking at 0.45 litres of 10W30, so do ensure you've got that before you actually start this thing up, and make sure you fill it up, because we're going to do that in a minute anyway. So a little look at the front of the unit gives us 3 indicators there, warning lights. The first one there is an oil light. In other words, if you haven't got enough engine oil in it, this is a 4-stroke machine by the way, it will illuminate, so it's got a low level sensor oil there. And then you've got 2 overload indicators there. This does push out AC and DC folks, so this has got a DC supply as well. You've also got an eco switch on it there. When you need a bit of a boost, I think you'll find that you just put it on one. You've got the DC breaker there, which is a little push-in jobby. So if you overload the DC circuit, that will break out and pop out, and you just press that to reset. There's your AC reset for your 13 amp sockets there. You've got an off, run and choke position for the main generator itself. So you'd start it in the choke position, then you turn it onto the run. We'll leave that off for the moment. You've also got a USB output supply there, so you can use that to charge up your USB devices there. You've got a DC 12 volt socket there, which is what some call a cigarette lighter. You've also got a ground earth spike, which you can connect onto there and then stick it into the ground so that you can have an earthing point. So these 2 little connectors there are parallel connectors. Now sometimes this may not be enough to power whatever you're using, so you can actually pair up a couple of generators together using special parallel leads, which you don't come supplied with, you've got to actually buy them. So if you've got 2 of these generators, for example, you could sit them next to each other, use the parallel lead sockets there, join them both together, start both generators up, and then you can double your output basically. That's what that's for, but you don't get the parallel leads, you have to buy them separately. Most people probably won't even be bothering with them, but they have got that option as well. So coming to the top of the unit, you've got the basic fuel cap there, which your fuel tank fills up there. It's got a filter there. That red line is the fuel line, and it's got this little cap here which has got the a switch on it which says on and off. Let me just put it back on for a minute. Basically, when you're running the generator, you keep it in the on position. If you're putting this in the back of your camper van, for example, and petrol is still inside and it could slosh about, switch that to the off position, and that blocks off the vent. In other words, you won't get petrol spilling out of this little hole up there in case it's rocking about a bit. But under normal running conditions, that always stays in the on position. Coming around to this side, you've got the air filter which lives behind this little container there. We'll just take that off and I'll show you. So you don't do that Phillips screw there, and that's where the air filter lives. This one is the one we're going to need to take off because we've got to fill the oil up, the engine oil. There is a dipstick in there, as you can see there. You take the dipstick out, which we're going to do now. You just unwind it. There we go. And that's your normal dipstick level. As you can see, it's pretty dry there. There's a bit just on the very end of it. So we're going to go ahead now and just fill this up to the level, 0.45 litres it takes. And all we're going to do is screw this little adapter tube they've got there. It's got a little O-ring on there. That just literally just screws in to your dipstick hole. So that's in there now. And the easiest way to do this is to get a measuring cup. 0.45 litres is up to there. So if I get my oil and just pour that in, I'm going to take it up to 0.4 first. There we go, that's 0.4. So I'm not sure how much oil they've actually put in there, you see. So I'll get a funnel. We'll come over here and we'll just tip this in. So that's 0.4 litres in. As I say, I don't know if they've actually put any in, so obviously don't want to overfill it. Right, that's 0.4 litres in. I'm going to take that measuring tube out for the moment. It says you measure the dipstick level with the dipstick not wound in, so you just literally sit it on the surface. So if I just wipe that, do make sure when you do this, folks, that you're doing it on a level base as well. And there's way too much in there, folks. That's what I say, you've got to be careful because there is actually oil in there. So just be aware of that. I've got to try and get this out now, some of this out, which makes life a little bit more trickier. But you just screw that back in, look. Just screw it back in, make sure you get that back in there first, folks. There we go. And all I'm going to do is literally just tip it backwards a little bit, just to drain a bit of it out. There we go. That might happen to you as well, you see. Right, let's see how much I've taken out there. So I've taken out of there 150 millilitres. I'm going to just try that again now, see where we are. And try again. And I'm right in the middle, about there. I've just wiped it off, but just coming up this corrugated part there, folks, I'm right up to about there. So I'm just going to do it one more try. Take it out. Yeah, I'm about halfway up there, so I could actually put a little drop of that back in again. So I'm just going to screw that in and literally put 50 ml back in. And that should be enough. There we go. That just clips back into there. Right, okay, that's it. So that's it. We should be all primed apart from putting the fuel in. Coming around this side, this is the starting handle there, as you can see. And coming around the back here, that's the exhaust there. So that's where the air comes out, the exhaust fumes come out of there. Right, as I say, this has got a filter in there as well, and that red line there within the cap is the maximum fill line. We'll put that in there. I've got a funnel there. Now this does say on the label that it takes E10 fuel, so it should be compatible with the raised ethanol fuse, so it says. So let's try and get some of this in there. Right, it should be enough in there to get it started anyway. Let's wipe that down a bit. We'll put that cap back on, ensuring that it's in the open position so that the fuel tank can breathe. We'll put that onto choke first of all. Now it may not start first pull because obviously the the fuel is dry. So we just give it a second for it to run down, and let's have a go. There we go. Okay, try again. Put it on choke again. There we go. AC, it's providing those AC. There's the overload light, which did come on at first, but then it goes on to the AC power light. That's the eco switch. That's the eco switch off, so it runs a lot faster when you take the eco switch off. We'll put the eco switch back on, and it brings the tick over down on the actual unit itself. There we go. Just make sure the resets are all pressed, which they are. Right, so I've just got my decibel meter there, folks. I don't know whether you can see or not. I'll stop talking. It's about 70. Coming round by the exhaust. It's about 87. I'm right on top of it there, as you can probably see. And moving backwards, .66 before I start talking, that is, so my talking is way louder. Yeah, about 66. I'm about 4 metres away now, I'd say, about 4 metres, yeah. So in all, it's pretty quiet. And just for a comparison, just coming into my workshop, that's my diesel heater over in the corner there. It's about the same. Yeah, about 66, about the same as the diesel heater before I start talking. Right, so let's check this thing out, see if it carries a load all right. I've got a grinder here, which is 750 watts. Plug that in. It should power that fine. Yep. Turn it off for a minute. And I've got this floor cleaning machine, which is 1200 watts. So let's plug that in. Both together, these are about 2000 watts. So we'll put that in like that. It's still on the eco setting at the moment, folks, so we might have to switch it up. So how would you turn this on? Yeah, I'm taking it off of eco. It didn't like it on eco. So that's running. Now let's put this on. No problem whatsoever. That's 2 kilowatts. So it will soon let you know if you need to put it onto normal. Eco's okay for probably lighting and stuff like that. But when you take some decent power out of it, you have to obviously put it up to the normal setting and take it off of eco. Well, there you go. I'm well pleased with that, and it's nice and quiet as well. So in the event of me having a power cut here now, which is very, very possible with this sort of climate we're living in at the moment, I can easily stick this on, and it should power quite a few things around my house. The main reason we've got this is to power our freezers and stuff and fridges, just in case, because you don't want to lose money with all the food there if you do get some sort of power outage. But because it's nice and quiet as well, it can also travel out with us if we go anywhere. For example, if we're doing work outside in the car, or we've got to go somewhere where there's no electricity, and we can power our tools, our sanding discs and stuff like that. And I've actually seen one video where a bloke powered a welder off of it as well. Obviously you don't want to put it on its maximum settings, but this will actually power a welder, which gives you great flexibility if you're actually doing work and you need a power supply. Anyway, hope this was of some help here. That's the Maxspeedingrods MXR3500 generator, and that's my review of it. Thanks very much indeed. See you in the next video, and until then, bye for now.